Grace and peace to you. Welcome to Morning Watch. I'm Rob, one of the pastors here at White Plains. Happy Tuesday to you. Happy St. Patty's Day. I'm wearing my green. Might look a little tealish, but it's green, trust me. Don't pinch me. Thanks for being here. This is where we gather for a song and a thought for the day. I'm glad you are here whenever you're watching. Thanks for being here, sharing, liking, all of that stuff. Took me a minute to get things going here as the computer reset during those winds we had yesterday. I hope you were all safe during that. Good morning, Floretta. Good morning, Robin. Good morning to all y'all who watch later. Hear about that all the time. Oh, I watch you like at noon. Hey, that can be morning. All right. Reminds me of a funny story, but we won't tell that now. We're already running late. Let's get on to it and begin our time together with going to God in prayer. Help me call a blessing down, for I think our poor old world needs it. A blessing of peace. A blessing of the ordinary, a blessing of national life without chaos, and personal life without fear. Help me pray a healing down, for I know how much we need it. A strengthening of the bonds between us, simple respect and patient listening, a new beginning for us all. And help me welcome the sacred down, the wide-winged spirit drawn from every corner of heaven, to walk among us once more, to show us again how it can be when justice is the path, and love the destination. Amen and amen. Good morning, Ken. So if you remember, back last week, I think Tuesday was the last day that I did Morning Watch. Crazy week last week. We were starting on this rung of renewal. And much as we began this book, Ladder to the Light, by Bishop Stephen Charleston, in the metaphor of the kiva, the womb-like darkness that the native culture would First Peoples would meditate in to ascend then a ladder from the darkness back into the light. In this chapter, he talks about the story of the sweat lodge, and how going into the sweat lodge and coming back out into light is a form of renewal. And that is the rung that we're at as we're climbing this ladder. We're on the seventh one. And so with that in mind, in this centering and renewing that he's talking about, I thought this song would be appropriate. Come and find the quiet center in the crowded life we lead. Find the room for hope to enter. Find the frame where we are freed. Clear the chaos and the clutter. Use our eyes that we can see all the things that really matter. Be at peace and simply be. Silence is a friend who claims us, cools the heat and slows the pace. God it is who speaks and names us, knows our being, touches base, making space within our thinking, lifting shades to show the sun, raising courage when we're shrinking, finding scope for faith begun. In the Spirit, let us travel, open to each other's pain. Let our lives and fears unravel, celebrate the space we gain. There's a place for deepest dreaming. There's a time for heart to care. In the spirit's lively scheming, there is always room to spare. There you go. Of course, that tune, that Beach Spring tune, we used to have a joke about that in staff meetings, thinking about him. Oh, can we sing it to Beach Spring? You can sing almost anything to the tune of Beach Spring. All right. So just to review, talking about the exchange that happens in the native culture in the sweat lodge. You go in, you leave the bad stuff. We talked about this in terms of our breathing out what is bad, breathing in what is good. And so he says, I want to make an exchange with you. I want to offer you something I believe will help us experience renewal, which is the breakthrough from darkness to light. And of course, he talks about sacred stories. Among my people, winter is the time for telling sacred stories, appropriate on this crisp, cool morning. We're still don't think we've had the first day of spring yet, so we're technically still in winter. Young and old gather by the firelight to listen to the elders recount the holy memories. There are stories about famous prophets and heroes, about the ancient exodus that brought us to our promised land, about the creation of the earth, and about how the animals still remember that day more clearly than we do. Each story has its meaning, a message to remember and to live by, and they're told in winter because this is the thin season between this reality and the next. These stories are the unwritten scriptures of a wisdom as old as storytelling itself, as old as winter, as old as what only the animals can remember. Charleston says, let me invite you into the lodge of Native American tradition. Let me invite you to enter naked, free of any past cultural assumptions or prejudices, positive or negative, free of past histories or hurts, free to experience something unexpected within the womb of tradition, free to share, free to discover, free to listen in the darkness to other voices besides your own, but that sound familiar in their longings and in their vision. Let me invite you to become physical in your prayers and to sit naked on the earth, to sit naked in the steam and the chants, willing to embody the sacred, willing to take the risk of becoming something new. The compass of our faith. Long ago, my ancestors created a spiritual compass. They designed a tool that would show them a path through time and space. They sought to connect heaven and earth, and they laid this tool out on top of a mountain and gathered there to observe the mystery of creation. Over the centuries, thousands of my people searched for the meaning of life on this mountain. They followed the compass to find their vision. Each one of us can do the same. There's a vision waiting for us. This compass of our faith will point the way. The good medicine is within us, and our mountaintop is only a step away. Mystery is the door to time and space. It opens before us when we believe. And I wanted to just make an aside that Charleston has a whole book on the compass of faith. I've not read that, but it's on my list. Yeah, good. That's right. Thanks, James. All right, when I speak of my Native American tradition, I'm offering an exchange. I am offering a perspective from the spiritual experience of my culture. For many generations, the indigenous peoples of the Americas have maintained community under the enormous pressure of colonialism. The exchange I want to make means sharing what they have learned about being a community of hope. I'm inviting you to put down your own cultural views for a moment and to listen to another voice, a voice that begins in silence. My ancestors valued silence. That is the room where the mind goes to think. The elders say it is not possible for people to make good choices if everyone is constantly talking. Wisdom is not measured by volume. If it takes an hour to get to the point is already gone. Religious or political insight does not come with a glib tongue, a fast answer, or a sales pitch. Listen to the person who may have little to say, but always has something worth hearing when they do. The Spirit does not need more than a word to make the light shine. He writes, renewal comes from deep within the kiva. It comes from within the sweat lodge. It is not just an intellectual notion about why we should try something new together. It is a physical invitation to experience that renewal firsthand. It is an organic experience, a chronicle of the human heart that stretches back through the millennia my ancestors lived on this land. It speaks in a language that is from the earth, from the creatures that share this life with us, and from the visions we have seen in the billowing clouds above us. To accept this exchange of spiritual insight, you will need to put down the idea that human beings are at the top of the spiritual food chain and open your mind to a world filled with spiritual presence. And we'll stop right there and pick it up tomorrow. It's funny, I was talking with someone recently about their travels overseas in Greece and the millennia of history that is there. You know, we walk around here in America and we think, wow, that's 200 years old. That is an old building. That's been there. We're celebrating 250 years, right? Like we think that's a long time. But she was talking about how in Greece, you know, we know the millennia of history there, right? We forget, don't we, that there is millennia right here with our own indigenous people. We have millennia of history in America. We just often choose to ignore it. How sad for us. Well, I look forward to diving deeper into this chapter with you tomorrow for another morning watch. Ever seen Vision Quest? I have not, James, but that sounds good. I've read some other things, and of course I read a lot of the Tony Hillerman books, which speak of this type of thing often. But I'll have to think about that one. Vision Quest. All right. Y'all take care. May you find peace and purpose in this day. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning for another morning watch.